Our tale unfolds with Haru, a youth who secluded himself following torment at school. Confined to his chamber for an extended period, he unexpectedly finds himself reborn through divine intervention. The goddess informs him of his demise and promises a rebirth in a realm of enchantments, bestowing upon him formidable abilities for his forthcoming existence. She encourages him to savor this newfound opportunity, as Haru yearns for serenity and simplicity. Reborn as an infant, Haru emerges as the monarch's heir, marked by the regal crest. The sovereign, eager to gauge his progeny's might, commands a sorceress evaluation. The orb illuminates, scrutinizing Haru's strength. Anticipations run high, given his mother's legacy as the vanquisher of the demon lord. Yet the revelation is startling. Haru is a mere level 2. Lacking elemental affinities, his sole talent lies in conjuring shields. Disbelief grips the king at the prospect of such an ineffectual heir, fearing the scandal it could incite. A ruse is concocted. They declare the prince perished at birth. As Haru faces a grim fate anew, the goddess watches in horror, realizing her miscalculation. Haru's true might is at level 1002, a figure beyond the realm's measuring capacity. Cast aside in a distant woodland, infant Haru ponders his barrier magic. With focus, he materializes a cubic shield, mastering its manipulation with ease. Experimenting, he levitates, only to encounter a colossal lupine. Panic ensues, yet his barrier stands firm. In defense, Haru wields his shields to hurl timber at the beast. Undeterred, the wolf rises, prompting Haru to escalate, lifting a vast terrain segment. The wolf's plea halts him. It speaks. Astonished by Haru's prowess, it questions his nature. Haru, struggling verbally, innovates, a barrier translating thought to speech. Introductions follow. Haru reveals his supposed weakness, but the wolf senses his latent dominance, speculating a demonic reincarnation. Haru indulges the notion, and the wolf is convinced. The vanquished wolf, acknowledging her defeat, implored Haru to end her life. Yet Haru, with a heart devoid of malice, spared her, demanding only peace henceforth. In awe of his clemency, she vowed fealty to him, invoking her title as a flame fenrir. As Haru bid her adieu, dubbing her Flay, she perceived it as a naming right, binding them in a pact allegiance. Despite Haru's protests that it was merely a diminutive, Flay embraced her new role with zeal. Suddenly, Haru's strength waned, and he collapsed. Flay, concerned, discovered his need for nourishment. Declaring a need for milk, Flay underwent a transformation into human guise. Flay's intent to nurse him was thwarted by her lack of milk. Amidst this, an intruder's presence was detected. Flay stood ready to defend, but Haru suggested parley. The stranger approached, revealing his quest for Haru. Flay, protective, denied his claim. The man, professing to be kin, sought to rescue Haru, offering sustenance. Flay, skeptical, questioned his motives. The man, moved by past sorrow, argued for every child's right to life, stirring Flay's emotions. A pact was struck, and the man welcomed both into his fold. Years passed, and Haru, now nurtured by his newfound family, abandoned thoughts of departure, charmed by their kindness. Yet discord lingered with his sister Charlotte, who kept her distance. Flay, now the domestic aide, favored by Charlotte, was torn between play and duty. Haru, yielding, bade Flay to join the merriment. Observing from within, Haru's mother counseled him, attributing Charlotte's behavior to youthful confusion. Haru harbored fears that Charlotte sensed his true age, perceiving him not as a peer but as an elder. Haru's mother suggested he undertake a grand gesture to demonstrate his dependability, hoping it would alter Charlotte's perception of him. However, Haru doubted his social prowess. She urged him, as the future ruler, to venture beyond his sanctuary. Retreating to his quarters, Haru contemplated departure to avoid escalating expectations. Yet he feared Charlotte's resentment and knew Flay would not consent to separation. In solitude, Haru had crafted a barrier-made doppelganger, an inert substitute for eventual self-replacement. His father's summons led him outdoors for martial instruction. Haru, disinterested in swordplay and skeptical of his odds against a seasoned warrior, reluctantly engaged. His protective barriers shattered his father's blade and evaded an assured strike, leaving his father astounded and questioning the impossibility of such agility from one with minimal mana. Haru had probed his might with a potent orb, yet it persisted in displaying a mere level 2, confounding him with the possibility of an unprecedented 4-digit level, far surpassing humanity's pinnacle of level 77. What had the goddess truly granted him? That evening, his father confided in his mother, voicing fears of Haru's demonic lineage, citing clandestine royal archives. Despite Haru's ordinary appearance, Flay's subservience fueled their suspicions. Nonetheless, his father affirmed Haru's place in their hearts, vowing his happiness. Charlotte, overgearing, grappled with the notion of her brother's demonic ties. Amidst relaxation, Haru was alerted by turmoil outside. His barriers unveiled a scene of wounded warriors. Inquiring, his father revealed their realm's plight against marauders. Upon discovering the hideout of the thieves, Haru and his allies were unexpectedly ambushed. Deeming the scene too grim for Haru, his father urged him to retreat indoors. Flay's scorn for their defeat at the hands of mere thieves infuriated Haru, prompting him to demand her silence. As he proceeded, Haru deployed his barriers to mend the injuries of the fallen, miraculously healing them in an instant. The onlookers were astounded, and Haru's father was left pondering the unfolding events. Later that night, Haru awoke to find Flay awaiting him, silent, adhering to his earlier command. Regretting his outburst, Haru rescinded his order, permitting her to speak once more. Together, they ventured out, with Haru utilizing his barriers to track down the assailants who had targeted his father. Swiftly locating them, Haru resolved to eradicate their threat, soaring towards their location behind his barrier. Unbeknownst to them, Charlotte observed their departure. Meanwhile, the thieves reveled in their perceived triumph, their leader outlining plans to return to their native land. Haru's sudden arrival, however, thwarted their celebration as he immobilized them with his barriers. When one dared to retort, Haru effortlessly dispatched him. Under duress, the leader confessed their true identities as soldiers from a rival empire, intent on sowing discord within the kingdom and disclosing an internal conspirator. Haru contemplated the possibility of a plot against his father, but the soldiers were ignorant of further details. Pleading for mercy, the soldiers' pleas fell on deaf ears as Haru condemned their assault on his father, leading Flay to incinerate their base. Haru then anonymously informed his father of the Empire's involvement. His father, taken aback by the revelation, and Charlotte, curious about the vanquisher of the foes, surmised Flay's hand in the matter. Charlotte, compelled by a sudden urgency, excused herself. Reflecting on the prior evening's events, she confronted Flay with inquiries about the existence of two Hurus, having witnessed their nocturnal departure. Her investigation in Haru's chamber led to the discovery of his clone, devoid of his characteristic intimidating presence, prompting her curiosity about its implications. Flay, acknowledging Charlotte's perceptiveness of Haru's might, urged her not to dwell on it excessively. Flay's unexpected revelation to Haru about his doppelganger left him in disbelief. To monitor her movements, Haru implemented additional surveillance measures. In the days that followed, Charlotte shadowed him relentlessly, observing him in all situations, even during his private moments. Attempts to address her peculiar behavior only resulted in her fleeing. A week later, news came that Haru's mother and Charlotte were planning to attend the yearly festival. Haru suggested they invite Flay, but his mother informed him of Flay's absence, reminding Haru of his instructions to Flay to deter the forest monsters from attacking villages. The plot thickened when Haru's alarm signaled an issue with Charlotte's surveillance. It was revealed that their carriage had been ambushed by Imperial forces, leading to a frantic escape by Charlotte and her mother, Natalia. Despite Natalia's efforts to fend off the magic assaults, she sustained an injury. Guided by an unseen voice, they narrowly escaped over a cliff using their magical abilities and sought refuge in a cave. Natalia, convinced they were being aided by a hero of justice, ventured out to find this mysterious benefactor, instructing Charlotte to remain hidden. As Natalia left, illusion magic concealed the cave's entrance, but the soldiers were closing in. Faced with capture, Natalia contemplated a dire choice, only to be saved by Haru's timely intervention. His formidable presence scattered the soldiers, leaving Charlotte in awe and fear, recognizing the familiar aura as her brother's. Haru, taken aback by Charlotte's recognition and her query about his role as a hero of justice, chose to humor her belief. Charlotte's admiration for his supposed heroic deeds grew, and Haru cautioned her to keep his identity a secret. That evening, Haru's father pondered over the identity of their enigmatic ally. When questioned, Haru remained noncommittal, suggesting that the stranger's allegiance was welcome as long as their actions remained favorable. Upon their return, Charlotte's immediate embrace of Haru conveyed her deep affection, leaving their mother puzzled by their sudden closeness. Charlotte kept the reason to herself, simply expressing her newfound love for Haru. This development delighted Haru, though it sparked a hint of envy in Flay.